We'll do a little meditation just to settle in, and then we'll continue on with the the Tao One book. So I invite everyone to close your eyes. And just take 3 or 4 breaths where you completely inhale. And you completely exhale. I'll share a little insight actually. While we're doing this. I got this tattoo, right? This cross tattoo when I was starting to get into like MMA and cage fighting, because I just thought it would be cool, right? And then since I've had this, I've had times where I've wanted to get it removed. I've had times where I've wanted to get stuff over it because people think I'm like, not that I'm bothered what people think, that's why I've still got it, but people think I'm like a Christian or I don't know. But I've had different insights into this cross over the years. And I've had an amazing insight recently. I was listening to Eckhart Tolle share about the power of the cross, like the symbol. And he said the cross symbolizes one of the most cruel torture techniques, okay? One of the slowest ways to die, the crucifixion. But he said it also represents the horizontal dimension. And Jesus on the cross, through surrendering to the pain and suffering in the physical world, this horizontal dimension, and putting his hands in God's hands, he opened up a vertical dimension, and the torture tool became an enlightenment tool. Okay, so it's the nature of yin yang. And I got a lot on that. And then I've been reading a book called Breathing for Warriors. And it's a book on educating people how, learning how the breathing muscles work in the body. So there's 11 pounds of breathing muscles, okay, that we don't really train. And what the book's designed for is like first responders and typically MMA, like cage fighters, so that if they're in like a body lock, like a body triangle, which basically means they're cutting the air from you, from your lower abdomen, you learn to breathe maybe into the chest, maybe into the side, because the whole lower abdomen breathes like a ball. Okay, breathe through your back, not through your back, but actually expand your back muscles, your obliques, your inner obliques, and just educate yourself on how the breath works. And she uses a term. Are you a horizontal breather or a vertical breather? Okay, so in this case, if you ask someone to take a deep breath and they go with their shoulders, they're actually breathing wrong. Okay, it's an anxious breath. So in this case, the vertical breath is not a good breath. A horizontal breath, whether it's horizontal if you're sideways, the front and the back, or you're facing straight and your sides are expanding. The horizontal breath is the key, okay? Now, people who don't have a strong stability, they send energy upwards. And that energy, which is not, it's not controlled energy, turns into high breathing and anxiety. So when we have a strong foundation and strong balance, okay, we can actually send energy down into the ground and we can feel more stable and we'll breathe deeper. But the insight I got from the 3 teachings is that horizontal breathing can allow us to reach those vertical states of consciousness. through deep, controlled, present breaths. The vertical breathing actually keeps us on the horizontal plane, actually keeps us anxious, in fear, and attached. Okay, so a horizontal breath, whether it's in a breathing practice or throughout your day, fundamentally we want to train ourselves to naturally breathe horizontally. That will eventually create a vertical dimension of consciousness. And there was a few more things. I won't keep going on, but I've just had a lot of insight into the cross lately. So with that, we are going to just consciously fill our lower abdomen up and see it as like a beach ball. And be aware of how the sides expand in the lower abdomen and the back. And then when we exhale, we're just going to empty that ball. We're going to squeeze it in gently, but just empty it. And then as soon as it's at the bottom, nose breathe, inhale. Nice deep horizontal breath. Fill that ball up. And then exhale. And squeeze and empty. And at the bottom, don't hold, just let it flow back up. And fill. And this one, instead of completely emptying, we're going to empty until we just feel relaxed. And then we're going to breathe naturally. But longer, slower, deeper, and aware of that vertical breathing. And as it opens up a vertical dimension within us, just drop the physical, material world. Drop anything outside of this moment. Any attachments, any so-called problems in time. And feel soft, gentle, and kind. And feel honest, sincere, humble. Let's just reflect as you're staying with the breath. Just have my voice as like a noise outside of yourself that you can just hear, but you're detached from my words. But let's go over those conditions. Soft. We think of a nice, supple, soft tree in the winter, and the snow falls on it. And the weight of the snow bends the branches. Because they're soft, they just bend. Snow falls off, and then they spring back. Think how soft and gentle the grass is. Drop a rock on it, it just grows around the grass. The grass just grows around the rock. But be soft and gentle. Think of the condition of gentle. Gentle is a lovely condition, a lovely state. It's harmless, blameless. And then think of kindness. Think of your thoughts or reflect on your thoughts. Are they gentle and kind? The way you think about yourself, your inner voice, Your inner dialogue, is it gentle and kind? How we interact with people in the world, are we gentle and kind? And whether you are or you're not, be it now. Be soft, gentle and kind. Feel it, emit that into the field. Honest, sincere. Honest, telling the truth, living your truth. Sincere, humble. Just follow nature's way. Trees are honest, sincere, humble. So is the sun. Just follow Tao. Tao Fa Zhi, follow nature's way. We just embody those conditions with every breath. And feel the body naturally fall into relaxation. Tension leave the body. Dear God, dear Tao, please be with us. And all souls that support the divine and Tao. Very simple, short, fast invocation. Reflect on how simple that invocation was. All souls that support God and the Tao. That includes the sun and the moon. The ocean, rivers, mountains, all the sages. Okay? That simple invocation invokes all beings that support the divine and Tao. Feel them, see them. See their light and benevolence and love, and kindness, honesty and sincerity, their humility, their frequency nourish our field, our Shen Qi Jing. And that alone lifts our Shen Qi Jing through this vertical dimension. See this light nourishing the spiritual body. It's like food for the soul. Always looking at souls outside of us, like Jesus and so on, Buddha. What does your soul look like? However you see your soul, see it being nourished by life and growing. Growing in love, in all the conditions, the divine and Tao conditions, growing towards God and the Tao, like a flower and a tree grows towards the sun. So your heart opening, your mind and your consciousness becoming cleaner, your energy moving through the body. See your physical body becoming rejuvenated. If there's any pains in the body, it's where chi, vital energy, is pushing against the blockage. It will push through. I had another insight recently into, I may have shared it with you guys. Excuse the dogs. Excuse me. Come here, sir. And that is, we can put, and I may have shared this with you guys yesterday even, you can't put a image on the Tao, okay? The Tao is no thingness. Every time we think we are understanding more what the Tao is, we're not. So this is the beauty, this is just an insight, okay, of why we have the divine as a being that is melded with the Tao, a being that has embodied all the qualities of the Tao, because then we can build a relationship with God, okay? You have to excuse me, all the dogs are coming in. Don't want to hang around with us. That's okay. So I love that. There's an insight of God. It really made me feel more connected to God. A few licks. Come here. Does anybody, how are you feeling after that little meditation? That was actually a nice meditation. I'm sorry about the dogs. If you want to stay in that space, that's fine. We'll go over a little bit of the book and then we continue on with the Tao text. If you're in the zone, stay in the zone. If you have any questions or want to share anything or insights, please do. Hello, Silvana. Charmaine. So where we're up to in the Tao text, Ling Yuyan means soul language. I won't talk through all of this. Yeah, because he explains a big section on their soul language. The first book in my Soul Power series, Soul Wisdom, begins with its most extensive section. Several chapters on soul language. Soul language is the language of your soul. There are thousands of languages on Mother Earth. There is only one soul language for all of humanity, for all souls and all universes. Let me share the essence of soul language, secrets, wisdom, knowledge, and practical techniques. This essence can be summarized in the what, why, how, and apply. Why do we need to learn soul language? Oh, sorry, these are what he's going to cover. I learned soul language from my most beloved spiritual father, Dr. and Master Ji Cheng Guo. In 1993, I started to teach soul language to my students in 96. Why do we need to learn soul language? Soul language carries soul frequency and vibration with love, forgiveness, compassion, and light. Soul language has power beyond words. Soul language, with soul language, you can heal yourself and heal others, as well as do group healing and remote healing. Prevent sickness in the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. Rejuvenate your soul, heart, mind, and body. Transform every aspect of your life, including relationships and finances. So he talks about how to develop your soul language, which is the sacred code 33968115. 33 vibrates the chest. 6 is the ribs. 9 is the abdomen. 8 is the navel. 5 is the stomach. 1 is the head. So it goes 3, 3, 9, the navel. 6, the ribs. Sorry, the abdomen. 8, the navel. 1, the head. 5, the stomach. By chanting this, it stimulates the whole different parts of the body at different times, and it brings out your soul language. It's like a key to unlock your soul language in the physical body. Chant San San Jolyo Baya Wu as fast as you can to bring out your soul language. It does a little practice there. This is definitely something we want to be continuing with as well. We want to really work on San San Jolyo Baya, bringing out your soul language so you really feel that it's come out and that you can tap into it at any time. After your soul language comes out, continue to chant soul language for at least 3 to 5 minutes. The more you practice, the better. Soul language is the soul's voice. Now we're in the soul light era. The soul light era will shine soul language. Soul language is a major treasure for transforming all life in the soul light era. Apply soul language to transform your health, to rejuvenate your soul, heart, mind, and body, to transform your relationships, your business and finances, transform your family, your organization, your city, transform your country, your Mother Earth, transform all universes, to bring love, peace, harmony to humanity, Mother Earth, and all human universes. Ling Xing Tung, soul communication. As I explained earlier in this chapter, a human being has soul systems, including a body soul, souls of systems, organ cells, cell unit, DNA, RNA, smallest matter inside the cells. Now, I'm not saying Master Shah's wrong, that's not what I'm saying, but an insight that I had recently as well is we say we have a soul and we say a tree has a soul, and I understand why he says that because of where humanity's at. But when I was reflecting on it, it's actually the other way around. The soul has a body. The soul is the true truth, because when the body breaks down, the soul is still progresses. The soul is the conscious awareness that's still conscious and aware after the body's gone. So when we cut a tree down, that tree will die, but the intelligence of the tree won't die. So it would be more accurate to my, I believe, to say the soul of a tree has a body. Our soul has a body rather than we have a soul. So he's saying each cell has many cell units and uncountable smallest matter. This means there are billions and many more souls of cell units and smaller matter in a single cell. If there are billions of souls within a single cell, can we imagine how many souls there are in one's body? Every organ has millions or billions of cells. It is impossible to count how many cells there are in one's body. The important wisdom is that all souls in one's body communicate with one another. Many people have not realized the wisdom that souls communicate on their own all the time. Souls communicate with the mind. Souls communicate with the body. If there is great balance in communication among one's soul, mind, and body, one is likely to be healthy. This is the power of Shen Qi Jing Hui. Shen Qi Jing Hui. Shen Qi Jing Hui. It's keeping that, the message of that, keeping harmony within the soul, heart, mind, and body, and of everything, the systems, organs, cells, and so on. If there are communication blockages or disharmonies among one's soul, mind, and body, one's health could be affected instantly. In the Soul Power series, one of the foundational wisdoms for healing can be summarized in one sentence. Heal the soul first, then healing of the mind and body will follow. Why is that? Because the soul has a body, not the body has a soul. So our true essence is the soul. We heal that first, mind and body will follow. If the soul of a person becomes sick, then sickness of the mind and body will follow. A human being has many layers of souls. If the soul of a cell gets sick, sickness of that cell will follow. If the soul of an organ gets sick, sickness of that organ will follow. If the soul of a system gets sick, sickness of that system will follow. If a body soul gets sick, sickness of the person will follow. I offered an important teaching in the first chapter, Soul Basics. The soul is a golden light being. A body soul is a golden light being. The soul of a system, organ, or cell is also a golden light being. They differ in size. A body soul is larger than a system soul, which is larger than an organ soul, which in turn is larger than a cell soul. How can one tell if a soul is sick? A spiritual being with advanced spiritual abilities can see souls with an open third eye. I have trained hundreds of students worldwide who can see these golden light beings. In my travels worldwide since '92, I've held hundreds of workshops and retreats. I've met quite a few people with open third eyes who are not my students. If one can see the golden light being, one can also see changes in the golden light being's color. The color can change from gold to gray or dark. The golden light being can look tired, weak, or sad. The golden light being can look angry. If the golden light being's appearance changes in any of these ways, that tells you that the golden light being is sick, whether it is the soul of a person, a system, an organ, or a cell. When a soul is sick, it does not mean the body is already sick. Before conventional medicine can diagnose a liver sickness, for example, the soul of the liver changes first. How? The color of the soul changes. A healthy soul of the liver is vibrant, full of light and gold in color. An unhealthy soul of the liver could be gray or dark. The size of the soul will also change if it is unwell. It will shrink and look weak and tired. However, even if you can see that the person's liver soul has changed in color and looks tired, that person could still have completely normal liver function. A medical checkup may not reveal any symptoms or signs of the liver condition. A few months later, though, or possibly even 1 or 2 years later, that person could have a medically verifiable liver condition. This tells us that the soul of an organ gets sick first, then the sickness of the organ will follow. All of my books have shared with humanity that the soul can heal and transform all life. This is soul over matter. The important wisdom to learn now is that when a soul gets sick, sickness of the body, system, organ, or cell will follow. Earlier, I shared the foundational wisdom of soul healing. Heal the soul first, healing of mind and body will follow. If we know this wisdom, how do we prevent soul sickness? The one sentence secret to prevent the soul sickness is to communicate with your souls to prevent sickness. Okay. Okay, so the next section is Da Dao Zhejian, but I'm going to leave that for next Monday because that's a great teaching, and we've actually got a practice we can chant Da Dao Zhejian. Any questions before we do a meditation on that? Quite a this is very foundational for Master Sha and Master Guo especially. That is a Jianlong medicine which came from Master Sha, from Master Guo, forgive me. How does that sit with people? Is there any questions on that?
Can you hear me, Nick?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late tonight. I just got a bit distracted. So when we talk about the soul, because he also talks about it, as you know more better than me, he talks about it as soul, the soul being information. So like you say, the tree, like that spark of pure light, pure divinity, or pure Tao, I guess because it's trying to visualize it. For me, it's always about trying to get the concept, because without that concept, it's hard to put into an understanding. But I mean, this is how I'm trying to interpret it. But because it's information, it's about how you speak to that information, and so that is the truth. So the soul is the boss. So I guess every soul aspect of ourselves, or they're aspects of the bigger soul, aren't they? Because then there's also that spiritual soul. So there's so many aspects or dimensions, or I guess multiverses of the soul.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's and I'm sorry if I'm just going off and I'm missing what you're actually fundamentally trying to say, but he's definitely intentionally tried to change the way he delivers the teaching for the Western world. So, or even maybe the academic world, like since Soul Mind Body Science came out with Rulin, they changed the word karma to negative information.
They did. Yes.
And they changed soul to information because they had a scientific formula, and the scientific formula is information. The soul is information. Heart is the receiver of information. Mind is the processor of information. And matter is the the director. The mind is the actioner. Sorry. And the body, the matter is a transformer of information. But I actually like the olden way, because the old way gave me personally, and by the sounds, if I'm understanding you right, it's same for you. It actually gave me more of an easier way of seeing what the soul world looks like. So everything has a soul, and it was always a golden light being. You know what I mean? Him and Master Guo used to diagnose people through spiritual, through spiritual eye. They used to look at somebody and say, right, the blockage is here. It's in this meridian. There's darkness there, or there's, you know, in the back in the day, he used to say, if you see a soul and it's fat, it's a great sign. And light, if it's fat and light, it's like a big fat happy Buddha. That means it's filled with virtue. That's what we want. But he said, if you see like a weak grey soul, it's usually suffering a lot.
And like you say, Nick, like, you know, again, you know, it expands on so many multiverses. Like you said, if they see, let's just say they see a need, you know, with so much, you know, the soul is dying, or the soul is got negative information. You can see how we're multidimensional, because a lot of it's probably karmic from, you know, past lives. So there's so many levels to that.
Well, he still talks like that. Like, he doesn't really say negative information, positive information in an advanced retreat. If you're in an advanced retreat and it's not open to the public, he'll say, you know, he'll talk like, you know, there's you know, you've got a bad knee. You can see the souls that you owe a debt to. You may have, you know, had a job back in the medieval times, smashing people's knees in, you know what I mean? And, you know, they live the rest of their life challenged. There'll be a karmic debt with actual souls. And he still talks like that when he's in advanced retreats. So yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to share or ask anything? I don't know if I even answered your question there, Silvana. Forgive me if I didn't.
Oh, no. It's good to just get an understanding. Look, it's so multidimensional, you know, the concept. So, you know, like integrating it all, there's always more to learn and more to understand. You know, like we can't look at it so linear, because we are, you know, like past, future, you know, like there's so much about that soul or that information, no matter, depending on how you want to speak it, that that it, that this information is coming through. It's not, it's very deep, I guess.
It is very deep, but I went through a phase where I was like asking questions like, well, hang on a minute, if I've done terrible things in the past, how have I got a blessed life now? And I was asking, I've asked every question you can bloody think of. But I remember like speaking to my Buddhist mentor, and she was like, the insight I got from it fundamentally is, it is actually simple. People always say, oh, we don't know what we've done. Karma's, I've heard people say karma's a cruel law because we were born, we don't know what we've done. And I get that, but life shows you, okay? If we understand how to, which we should be taught, kids should be taught this, I feel. And it's a tricky way of teaching them without scaring them. But kids should be taught how to read what's going on in their life. Life doesn't come to us and tell us in words, but if something manifests in your life, it's not about saying, oh, that's a bad thing, because we never know. It might be a blessing. Something good might come from it. But fundamentally, life is showing us what we need to heal, what we've done, because this present moment literally is a expression of all of our past experiences. This is why in the deep karma teachings, you can actually read someone's face and body to see what type of karma they've got. And it also, in this present moment, is the only place that we can consciously create, if you like, our future. The future and the past exist in this moment. And that's why within us, okay, a lot of times, a lot of the suffering that we go through and sickness and everything, if we're this pure, if we're a Yanshan, right, if we're the Tao at our source, right, we've come from the Tao, we've got dirty, and the journey is to cleanse and go back to the Tao. If we've already started off as this pure being, then what is stopping us being that pure being? It is how much we hold on. If we hate someone or they hate us, right? If we can't let that go, then we carry it around. It's that simple. It's in our, Buddhists call it store consciousness. Master Sha is now calling it the information in the field. If we can't let go of feeling guilty because we hate someone in the past, and we can't let that go, then we're carrying it around with us. We'll never, until we drop that, we won't get one step closer to seeing our true self. If somebody really hates us in the past, if we can't forgive them, we hold on to it, and we can't see our true self. It's as simple as that. So this present moment is so powerful, because in this moment, we can literally heal the past. Literally within us, we can let things truly go in love and bless the journey of whoever we've hurt or has hurt us, or our family, or any of our mistakes. We can bless the situation, because that will change their soul journey. Let's say someone I hate, right, who I'd forgot about, I didn't even think of, is dead now and is reincarnated and is living as a baby somewhere in the world, right? If I remember when I'm 50, that thing I did, I say, oh my gosh, how could I have forgotten that? And how would I remember that? If it comes into my awareness, it's time for, it's life showing me this is something you need to work on. Someone might come over to me and say, do you remember that time with such and such? Wow, bang. I remember I did that thing and I must have caused some suffering there. If I can go deep into forgiveness and in that repentance, okay, in that true forgiveness, you call on God, okay, speeds everything up so much because you're being sincere to God. God then, or the Buddha, or whoever resonates, Guan Yin, God then can bring in God's forgiveness, bless the situation, bless the person. You will, it's not maybe, you will bless the new life that soul is having now in a different family. Literally could change or would change a dramatic part of their soul journey. Now, think of how deep that is when we look at our ancestors, our ancestral line. If we have these patterns that our great-great-grandparents put their guilt or whatever on our grandparents, they put them on our parents have put them on us. It's literally samsara, okay? That is samsara. Then our grandparents are born into our families potentially, and then we put it back on them, and it just gets the boom, 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 deeper and deeper and deeper by being blessed enough to find the Dharma, very grateful, applying that, changing the whole structure. And I reflect on my own life, and I think moving away from England was a huge part in my journey, because it's very hard to break them patterns when you're in that environment. But if you can do that, you are literally transforming. I mean, it's potentially, eons of samsara just going round in cycles. You are transforming that in one generation. And you are saving a countless number of beings. That is why we never underestimate the power of a forgiveness practice, of a meditation, of just a conscious breath, being present now. Again, I've shared this with you guys before, but I've always thought of even how the mind is like an antenna, okay? So when we're putting out, if we have a negative thought come in our head, right, and we start getting angry, or we go on this like dream tangent where we're doing something stupid, or we're beating someone up, or we're doing something, that may have come to us because of a seed that we planted that's gone out, and it's made its way back to us, right? Now, let's say it comes in our head and we don't transform it, and I'm guilty of this, and then we push it out again. Let's say someone's walking their dog, a gentleman's walking their dog, and he's in a good mood, right? Your negative thought might plant a negative thought in his head, and he might get in a bit of a shitty mood and go home and have an argument with his missus. Now, again, that's some way entangled anyway for him to be walking past my house at this time and for him to pick up my negative thought. But the point is, if we're conscious, if a thought comes up like that, we have the tools and the techniques to detach from them, okay? First and foremost, don't get emotionally attached to it. Stop it in its tracks. Ask for forgiveness anyway, because we may have put that out and it may be just manifesting back in our awareness. And transform it to a positive seed, even if it's just in your heart. May Wan Ling Rung He manifest as soon as possible. May all beings be happy and healthy, anything like that. You're putting out a completely different vibrational karmic signature into the field, and it could influence the same gentleman walking past with his dog. He could be in a bad mood, it might make him happy, or he could be in a happy mood and he might be inspired to just go and do a random act of kindness, or maybe pick a flower for his wife on the way home or something like that. Living consciously is the most important thing we can do, literally. And there is a state beyond mantras, but Master Shah is emphasizing that until we're there, because mantra actually means protecting the mind. Okay, protect the mind. The mantra protects the mind. I mean, I've caught a couple of times in the last couple of days where I've just been, I may go into like a shop or someone's house and there's just like a song on, and I'll be driving, I'll find myself just like in my head singing that song, and I think, you know, no attachment to it, but it's just like, wow, that's how easy it is to just have the mind now repeating some song, and then that's where the mantra comes in. Just change it to Wong Mani Bama Hong or whatever it is, and yeah, get that going in my mind. So does that make sense? Has anyone got any questions on that or want to add to that? I mean, you've all got a lot of wisdom in this group. I'm always open to hear everyone sharing their insights.
I think when you're in that negative field, then that's what you attract to you. So if you can raise that frequency, that vibration to something higher by doing what you're saying, but you have to keep in that. It's not just going in for 1 second, it's actually staying into that and continuing that. And that's when you'll start creating a different reality and attracting different things to you.
Again,
because
it's like
that negative reality, then that's how you're going to see the world.
But again, if you're not to read the world, then if the world is showing you, it shows you what you're putting out. So you're hitting red lights, or people start shouting at you and argue with you, then you can say, oh wow, maybe reflect on yourself. Is this what I'm putting out? Because the field acts as a mirror. And to stay in it, I think a great way to stay in that condition is to actually do something for someone else. Like, I remember, if I was ever in the city and I was ever feeling a bit off, just going and buying a sandwich for a homeless guy and actually not just giving it to them, but just ask how their day is, was always great. Just doing something little for someone is a great way of getting out of yourself and staying in that nice space. But you don't have to do that. You might not be in a situation or a place where you can do that. That's why it's just an intention in the heart. May all beings be happy. It's a huge prayer. It's a massive prayer just to say that simple word. May all beings be free of suffering and their causes. Yeah.
And it's also looking for opportunities where you can do that, because if you're not looking for them, you won't find them. I mean, I had an instance today that, because I was also putting into practice some other stuff that I was learning, and my neighbour texted me her little black puppy lab has gone missing. It was there last night and it wasn't there this morning, and there's 2 dogs and they sleep outside, and I know how distressing that could be when you lose a dog. So I just said, look, I'll go out and have a run round, and I know they've been looking all morning, but I asked Source, please help me find this dog. And then I knew without any doubt, and this is how I used to manifest when I was doing Basket Brigade. I didn't know I was doing it then. Now I consciously know what I'm doing. And I just knew that I would find it. And I drove around the estate and couldn't see it, but I just knew it was going to be there. And as I came back, there's a property and there's a couple of dogs there. They chase your car if you go fast. If you go slow, they don't. And it was behind the fence. And I thought, is that her? Because the last time I saw her, which was just before Christmas, she was much smaller. So I got out and called her and she came running over. She was so pleased to see me. And I texted my neighbour and said, has she got a blue collar on? She said, yes, where is she? And she had got into this property, probably squeezed, under the fence. So the neighbour came and picked her up. And, that's how it works. I mean, seriously, that's how it works. You have to know it. It's more than a belief, it's a knowing. and it happens. Mm.
Beautiful sharing. Great story.
I've got
Anyone
a
else?
picture. I'll put it on the. I'll put
Yeah,
it
yeah,
on
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
the. Yeah.
Anyone else, or should we do a practice? Okay. Just check. I'm actually going tonight to do 15 minutes of Bao Yin, Shou Yin, Jin Yin instead of Jin Dan Da Dao Shu Lian. I hope you guys are all keeping up with Jin Dan Da Dao Shu Lian. Bao Yin, Shou Yin, Jin Yin is still very much, it's a far simpler mantra to learn, but it's very deep. Okay, it's balancing yin and yang in the body, and Ming Men fire, Ming Men water. It's accumulating Chen Yi Jin Shui, which is heaven's sacred liquid, Jin Jin Yu Ye, which is Mother Earth's sacred liquid, and Bao Yin Shou Yi is fundamentally Tao. It is to put your awareness on oneness, on the Tao. It literally means to hold a golden light ball in your lower abdomen. So Bao Yin Shou Yi is the Tao. Yen Jin Yen is absorb the sacred liquid from heaven and earth. So I'll put the words up and I'll play the song. So much love in this mantra. It's such a beautiful mantra. I'm going to do a video for you guys like I did with the Jin Dan Da Dao Shu Lian, but with the Bao Yin Shou Yin Jin Yin, I'm going to explain the almost like a Qigong or Tai Chi movement that Master Sha shares, what it's doing. And then I'll video myself doing that, okay? And I'll get it up for you guys. I just haven't had the chance the way it's worked, where we're living. And I've got so many videos I want to make, and I've got my whiteboard, but it's just not set up properly yet. So I've just got to be patient with that. So yeah, we'll do that practice. So we'll do an invocation. So dear divine, dear the Tao, all souls that support the divine and Tao, dear nature, dear heaven and Chen Yi Jin Shui, dear Mother Earth and Jin Jin Uya, and dear our Zhongmai sensor channels, our yin yang energy circles, our meridians, every part of our body, our 5 elements, 10 spaces. We love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Dear all our ancestors, we invite you to practice with us. Dear the soul of Bao Yin Shou Yin Jin Yin, love, honor, and appreciate you. Please bless us. Please help build and nourish our Jindan so that we can heal all sickness, prevent all sickness, and move in the direction of longevity and immortality. Tao abilities. We're so grateful. Please forgive us for our mistakes and our ancestors. We offer all souls that have hurt us our unconditional forgiveness. May we join as one in love, peace, harmony. I'm going to mute myself, share the screen, play the mantra.
愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也，报愿受一言尽也。受一言尽也， 愿周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜，报怨周一眼今夜。
I'm going to offer, I chant, I'm doing a practice where I have to chant the Dabe Jo 5 times of a night before bed. So I'm going to chant it 5 times fast. I'm going to offer it as a blessing to you guys. So just detach from everything and make a request from your heart silently to Guan Yin, the 87 Buddhas, Divine and Tao. And then just open yourself up to receive and feel grateful. No expectations. And just detach and stay with the breath. Guan Yin, all souls that support Guan Yin, the 87 Buddhas of Da Bei Zhou, the Chen Shou Chen Yin, we love, honor, and appreciate you. All the lineages, transmissions, please turn on as appropriate. Please bless everyone's request as appropriate. Blessings start. Chen Shu Chen Yan Da Ci Da Bei Ju Ku Ju Nan Guan Da Yuan Man Guan Shi Yin Pu Sa Ling Hui Sheng Shi Chen Guan Jing Wang阿弥陀佛 Master Sha 千数千年大慈大悲观大亚摩摩耶大悲心多罗尼，千数千年大慈大悲观大亚摩摩耶大悲心多罗尼，千数千年大慈大悲观大亚摩摩耶大悲心多罗尼。 南无阿达那达赖，南无阿弥陀佛，揭谛娑婆来，菩提萨埵波耶摩萨埵波耶摩诃迦罗尼迦耶萨巴拉巴伊苏格那达迦那么悉吉利多维门摩利波罗揭谛娑婆拉那多巴那么那罗金悉利摩本多萨弥萨婆多多西方摩悉萨婆萨达那摩婆萨达那摩婆揭摩婆达多达吉多摩婆罗悉罗揭谛迦罗帝悉利。จุลจุลจมันตุลตุลภาษีติโมภาษีติตุลตุลสารณีเจกลายเจลเจลมมะมะลามะเดลีชิชิเจเจวลาจังวลาจาริภาษาภาษาโกลเจหุลุหุลุมะลุหุลุลิเจตุลตุลจิริตุลตุลปฏิเยปฏิเยปฏิเยปฏิเยมิเดลีโนเลจินจิสาริสนิโนเวมะนะสุโภชิตเยสุโภตุลจินจิสุโภมะนะลาสุโภชิตจิงกมะจิเยสุโภสุโภมะชิตเยสุโภชิจิลาชิตเยสุโภโพตุมะชิตเยสุโภตุลจินจิเปจลายสุโภมะปุลิจินจิเลสุโภนะโมละตานะตะลายนะโมโลีปุลิจิติสุโภลายสุโภชิตโตมันตะลาเปเยสุโภสิกะสิจวยสุโภชิมะจิจวยสุโภมะจิจวยสุโภอัมบุจุลิจิติสุโภเจสุเจเนตาตะตะเปโกนะยะมะโมเอตะเปชินตุลนีเจสุเจเนตาตะตะเปโกนะยะมะโมเอตะเปชินตุลนีเจสุเจเนตาตะตะเปโกนะยะมะโมเอตะเปชินตุลนีนะโมละตานะตะลายนะโมโลีปุลิจิติสุโภลายปุริสัตโภเอโมสัตโภเอโมจารุนีจายะAnzabala Paisu Nudishana Mashitali the Mimoli Politi Shabalana Dobana Manolin Shilimo Benozami Sabu Toji Muji and Sabazana Mopazana Mopaje Mopata Daji the one Mopushi Luchadi Jalodi Shili Jamandora Vazi Dimo Vazi the Donozola Zalini Zavala Jala Mamala Madini Shishan Valajan Valajani Vasavan Volashi Hulu Jiri Solo Shiri Solo Padi Midali and Olaji Zali and Bayamana Sobo, years of Boho, Moji the years of Boho, she the years of Alliance of Boho. She the years of Boho, she the years of Boho, Boloma, she the years of Boho, Knowledge Evangelize of Boho, Mobility in the years of Boho, Namola Dana the line of Oli, Politics of Alliance of Boho, she the Dome and the Lab and the years of Boho, she has enjoys of Boho, she has enjoys Boho, but she enjoys one, but she is of Boho. Censorzeni dato da Vigonda Yamamoe da Vision Doloni, Censorzeni dato da Vigonda Yamamoe da Vision Doloni, Censorzeni dato da Vigonda Yamamoe da Vision Doloni, Namola Dana Dole, Namoli, Bologi di Subanai, Pudisa da Boemo, da Boemo, Jaloni, Jayan Zabala, by Sudan of the Shan, Machitali, the Mongoli, Pologi di Subalana, the Vanamano, the Zili Moban, the Zamiza, the Dojimo, Muji, and Zabazana, Mobazana, Mobaja, Mobada, Dario. Saba Saba Mola Mola Mashimajili, the Yanjula Jamandora, the Vaji, the Movaji, the Dola Zalini, Javala, Jala Mama Malama, the Lishi, Jenna, Vala Jam, Vala Jali, Vaja, Volaji, Zoro, Padi, Midali, and all the Zarisuni, Payamana, Subahu, the years of Boho. Lulini Subaho, Manana Subaho, Jilamaji, years of Boho, Pamawashi, the years of Boho, Jilavashi, the years of Boho, Bodomaji, the years of Boho, Lulini Evangelize of Boho, Mobility in the years of Boho, Namo, Lana, the line, Namoli, Apologies of Alliance, Boys in the Mandala, and the years of Boho. Because enjoying the Boho, enjoying the Boho, enjoying the Boho, but you see the years of Boho, Namo, Lana, the line, Namoli. Bology is of a line, but these are the boy, Moses, the boy, Mohajaloni, Diane, the Malaba, Sudan, the Shan, the Machine, the Mongoli, Bology is of a land of Banamano, Chili, Mo, Benuzami. Sabu, the Dojimo Musi, and Sabazadana, Mobazadana, Mopajamo, the Tajamo, Polish, Luigi, Ticharo, the Ishili, Mo, Bodhisattva, Sapazava, Malamola, Muji, the Yanjula, the Mandolo, the Mobaji, the Tolo, the Zalini. Civilized the Mama Malama, the Lish, Generation of Wallace and Valajari, Padi, immediately and origins that is an Payamana Superhoji, the years of Moshi, the years of Hoshi, the years of Malay of a whole origins of a home, monologues of a Hoshi, the years of a hose of a Moshi, the years of a Hoshi, Lausi, the years of a whole, Bodomachi, the years of a whole origins evangelizable. Mobilizing the years of Bohona, Mola, Dana, the land of Mowoli, Bolides of Alliance of Boys, the Dome and the Lab and the years of Boys, as joins of Boys, which joins of Boy, which joins one, but you see the years of Boy. Namahola, Dana, the line, Namoli, Bologies of Alliance, Putis of the poem, or Sato poem, Hochaluni, Jayan, Zabala, Faiso, the Jan, Majidali, the Mongolia, Bologies of Alana, the Banamano, the Chili, Mo, Benozami. Sabodo doji Momoji and Sabazadana Mobazadana Mobajamo, but the Dajido, Polishi, Lujadi, Jalodi, Jili, Mopodis of the Sabazabo, Monomola, Mojimojilito, and Julia, the Mandolo, the Mobazi, the Tolo Zarini. Chivalai, Jala Mama Famala, Modili, Jijan, Valas, and Valas, the Vazim Volosia. Hulu 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 yere zoro zoro shiri shiri zoro zoro bari 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 midale yano le tinji zari zane no pe yamana zabo hu jido ye zabo hu mo jido ye zabo hu jido ye zabo na ye zabo hu no le tinji zabo hu mo no no zabo hu jido zabo bari ye zabo hu zabo ma hu jido ye zabo hu jido na hu jido ye zabo hu bodo mo jido ye zabo hu no le tinji venjala ye zabo hu mo bali tinji le ye zabo hu na mo la dana dana na mo boli boli jido zabo na ye zabo hu jido no mandala bende ye zabo hu 金刚神转也是不，什么神转也是不，某些神转也是不，安不就离去离去是不乎？南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无灵会上师，南无灵会上师，南无灵会上师，南无灵会上师。How. Just the incredible light nourishing your soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter, and your request. Take as long as you need. Rest and rest. We'll end the night in the recording with a how. How means perfect. Thank you. Love you. Gong song. I'll end the record, but not the Zoom, so that you guys can ask questions if you like at the end or share.